Hello everyone, it's time for another tier list video. In this tier list, I'm going to be looking at 50 horror movies that have come out so far in the 2020s. We're halfway through the decade, so I thought, why not go through a whole bunch of them? The popular ones, the not so popular ones, the good ones, and the not so good ones. Now I don't want this video to be super long, so let's get right into it. Our tiers are cinema, great, solid, meh, and just plain old trash. Starting off with Abigail, it came out last year, radio silence, fun, ballerina vampire movie. The cast is phenomenal. It's very bloody, especially towards the end. Speaking of that phenomenal cast, the movie is very funny. They all bounce off of each other really well. Alicia Weir as Abigail herself, she's phenomenal. Melissa Barrera, Kevin Durand especially, he's really funny in it. There's a dancing sequence with Alicia Weir and Catherine Newton, and they both kill it. It's one of the coolest scenes in the movie. It's not quite cinema, but it's great. One of my favorites of last year, nearly in my top 10. Moving on to Alien Romulus, another movie that came out last year. I actually saw this in theaters, and oh boy, what a loud movie it was. One of the loudest movies I've ever seen in theaters. It's gonna go in solid. I don't think it's one of the best Alien movies, but it is decently scary. Just like Abigail, the cast is great, but the main standouts are David Johnson as the android and then Kaylee Spaney as Rain. Both of them are great. There's lots of facehugger action, there's lots of xenomorph action, and that's what you want out of an Alien movie, and it gives it to you. You know, it's nothing super special. It's just a really solid Alien movie, great addition to the franchise. Up next we have Barbarian, one of my favorite horror movies of all time. It's going in cinema. The twist in the middle of this movie is fantastic, and from that twist onward, it's like a great creature feature. I'm not going to go into too many spoilers. This movie made me fall in love with Georgina Campbell. I loved her in it. Justin Long is super freaking funny in this movie. Bill Skarsgård is in there for a bit as well, and it's weird seeing him as this normal, like really normal dude when he's, you know, Nosferatu, Count Orlok, and he's Pennywise, so it was fun to see him without all the makeup and prosthetics on. Barbarian is cinema. If anyone tells you otherwise, I'm sorry, they're just simply wrong. The Black Phone, very solid Blumhouse horror movie. I've talked about it in my Blumhouse horror movies tier list, so go check that out for more specifics on Black Phone. I'm not going to talk about it too much here. Ethan Hawke as the Grabber, super terrifying. Mason Thames, Madeline McGraw as the brother and sister duo. They are so enjoyable in this movie as well. Gwen is super funny. Finney is just like this character you'd love to root for as he's in this basement and he's getting clues by the ghosts that are being like, hey, this is how you defeat the Grabber and escape. Just a really well put together movie. Not quite cinema, but I love it more and more on every watch. So top of great. Maybe by the end I'll shuffle it up to cinema. Now Bodies, Bodies, Bodies is up next. I really enjoyed this movie on first watch, but I wasn't as high on it as others were. But every time I see a clip from this movie on my social media feed, I can't help but love it. I want to go back and rewatch this thing as soon as possible because it's just such a funny movie, and I think a rewatch would definitely help. The cast, again, like I've mentioned for a few of these movies, the cast is really great. It's sort of a murder mystery, and the reveal at the end of like what actually happened is so damn funny. One of the funniest reveals I've seen in a while. I'm gonna put it top of solid for now. You know, I want to rewatch it first before I can confidently put it in great. Next up is a movie I watched recently, Bones and All. What a fantastic romance horror movie about cannibalism. Let's freaking go. Timothée Chalamet and Taylor Russell, such great chemistry. You got a character named Sully in there who shows up from time to time and he's pretty freaky. This is another one that's going in solid because it's a very well-made movie and I understand all the hype and love that it gets, but it's just not a personal favorite of mine. I don't see myself ever going back to this movie in the future, or at least the near future, and I don't really think about this movie too often. It's still very well made, and I can't deny that. If you love it, that's awesome. I totally get it. Now, a movie that I love, and some people might not, it was somewhat slept on, came out in 2023, The Boogeyman. Sophie Thatcher's in it. It's just a solid creature feature. The Boogeyman hides in the shadows in this movie, but he does come out to play every now and then, and we get a few decent looks at him. I think the visuals are pretty cool. Is it a great movie? Not really. There are some slow moments, but there are also a few crazy moments, like Sophie Thatcher's little sister at one point gets flung into a TV by the Boogeyman, and it's absolutely insane. I loved it. It's gonna go in the solid tier because even though I love the movie, I can see the problems with it, so somewhere top of solid. Another movie that people probably don't care too much for, Come Play. I love Gillian Jacobs, and she's great in this mother role in this movie. Somewhat similar themes to like The Babadook and movies like that. This time it's about a kid who's addicted to like this monster in his phone, but it's real and it's hurting people, and it's like, whoa. People do not really care for this movie. It's one of the lowest rated movies on this list on Letterboxd. I, however, really enjoyed it. At the end, I actually cried. One of the only movies I ever cried during. I don't know why Come Play has to be one of those, but it just simply is. The monster has a pretty decent design in this movie, and his name is Larry, so that's a plus. Funny name, looks cool. Is it a good movie? Not entirely. Just like Boogeyman, it's gonna sit top of solid, but I just can't put it up to great. Now, a movie I can put in great is Companion. It came out earlier this year, another Sophie Thatcher movie. She is phenomenal in this movie. Her facial expressions. Jack Quaid is also in this, and he's really good as well. Another one of those movies like Barbarian, where there is a big twist if you haven't seen the trailers. Like, if you saw the first teaser, you're fine, but if you saw that second one, you know what it's about, but if you haven't, good, keep it that way. The pacing in this movie is great. It's a thriller, but it has a lot of comedic elements in it as well. When I finished watching it in the theaters, I thought it was pretty good, but then after a second viewing, I just bumped it up even more. Companion's such a damn good movie. I love the Conjuring franchise. The first one's really good. The second one is really, really good. The third one I was hoping was going to continue the upward trend, but no, it sort of fell flat. It's not bad by any means. It's just, a little different. We have some witchcraft shenanigans in this one, and while it does kind of fit under the Warrens' belt and story of like dealing with creepy stuff, it just didn't feel very Conjuring. I don't know why. It just didn't hit me the way all of the other Conjuring movies hit me, and while as a movie it is solid because it was somewhat of a big letdown, I gotta put it in meh. I'm sorry, I love Ed and Lorraine Warren. I think the movie is good, but a bit disappointing. A movie that wasn't disappointing, Evil Dead Rise. Alyssa Sutherland doesn't carry the movie. It's a very good movie, even if she wasn't as great as she is. But oh my god, she is fantastic as Ellie, this, struggling mother turned deadite, just terrorizing her family. She is an absolute star. I want her to play creepy people in all the movies. Put her in everything. She is so damn good in this. I have nothing but good things to say about her performance in this. She's so creepy. She's so cool, honestly. I really, really loved Evil Dead Rise, the first, 75%. The ending where, this bigger monster kind of all meshes together, it's, cool, and it's bloody, and who doesn't love that? But, I don't know, it just kind of felt like something we've already seen, which, it's Evil Dead, you know what you're getting, but I kind of wanted something different for the ending. However, it's still fantastic. It's going to go in great. A touch above Companion. I don't know if I could put it above Abigail. I think Abigail is a much more enjoyable time, but Evil Dead Rise overall is phenomenal. And we're just going to keep going back and forth between good and bad. The Exorcist Believer, oh boy. I barely remember this movie, but the one thing I do remember is that it's not very good. What if The Exorcist, but 2 girls instead of 1? But we don't even get to show them for the most part. We focus on the parents a good chunk of the movie, then we focus on the demon girls. A part of me was actually into the devastated parents looking for their lost girls. Their whole point of view on everything where they're going through all these emotions because their kids are possessed. I kind of enjoyed that. I don't want to put it in trash, but it's definitely not in the same tier as Conjuring The Devil Made Me Do It. It's going in trash, I'm sorry. Five Nights at Freddy's. What a movie. Is it fun? Yes. Is it scary? No. Is it a good movie overall? It gets the job done for the most part. It was I guess maybe safe for kids to watch because kids love FNAF and everybody loves FNAF at this point, I guess. And while I'm not the biggest Five Nights at Freddy's fan, I was very excited for this movie. I had a fun time watching it with friends. But the more it just sat with me and the more people on the internet picked out problems with it, the more I was like, yeah, I totally see where they're coming from, and I kind of agree. Now, while I would put it top of meh, I can't deny the fact that I did have a lot of fun watching it. There's a scene where all of the animatronics and Josh Hutcherson and his little sister are building a fort at Freddy's Pizzeria or whatever it's called. And you know what? It was fun. It's a fun little movie, put a dumb smile on my face. I can't be mad at Five Nights at Freddy's. I am excited for the sequel. I heard that it's going to be scarier, and they are going to give the people what they want and make it a better movie. So this was just laying the groundwork, and if that's what actually ends up happening, hell yeah, good for you, Five Nights at Freddy's. Now we have Freaky, another movie I talked about in my Blumhouse tier list. I am a big Freaky fan because Vince Vaughn and Kathryn Newton, I love them to death, and they are phenomenal in this movie. It's gonna go not cinema, but top of great, probably above Black Phone, maybe a little under Black Phone. I can't really decide. I'm gonna put it above because I love me a good horror comedy, and this is a good horror comedy. Vince Vaughn acting like a high school girl, Catherine Newton as a serial killer with her sick-ass red leather jacket. Is it a perfect movie? No. I rewatched it somewhat recently, and I wasn't as high on it, but I just love it so much. I love it. Now here's a movie that I watched not too long ago. Some people have brought it up, but I don't hear very many people talking about it. It's Frogman. It's like a mockumentary kind of Blair Witch style where they're looking for this legend, they're interviewing people, and they're trying to find Frogman. I loved the characters in this. Some people found them annoying, but I thought they felt like a real friend group, like trying to go out and find this thing, being exhausted, but like the leader of their group was like, no guys, we have to. This might be a very, very hot take, but I enjoyed this like 10 times more than Blair Witch Project. I love Blair Witch Project. I think it's awesome. But this movie, because at the end we do get to see what we've all been waiting for. Sometimes they'll give you hints of it, and they'll give you a tiny little, there you go, there's the thing you were looking for the whole time. But they give us some Frogman in this, not to spoil it, but you get to see some Frogman. The last 15 minutes of this movie are bonkers, and the build up to the very end, while not perfect, I was enjoying every little bit of it, and you know what, I'm gonna put it in great. It's gonna stay at the bottom of great, because it does have its issues, but I just think for what they had to work with, because obviously I don't think the budget was super huge, if you've seen this movie, I think they did a phenomenal job. I loved it. Give me more Frogman. I believe a sequel is happening, and I will be there. I will watch it. I love Frogman. It's now time for the Terror Twins to take center stage. We have Halloween Kills, the middle of the newest Halloween trilogy. Halloween 2018 came out before the 2020, so it's not on this list, but I love that movie a bunch. Halloween Kills, I really enjoyed, and I went back and rewatched it, and I did not enjoy it that much. Michael Myers is just straight up killing a bunch of people in this movie, and it's fun carnage for Michael Myers to take part in. It does not really move any sort of story along whatsoever. It's just like, hey, remember these old characters? Let's bring them back, and oh, some of them are dying. Whoa. It's a very meh movie, but it can be a fun watch in the right mood. But now for the main course, we have Halloween Ends. People tear this movie to shreds, but some people really like this movie. And you know what? Whatever side of the coin you are on, good for you. This was a big disappointment. Is it a bad, like awful, wretched movie? No. But was it the right way to end Michael Myers' little story? God, no. Why would you focus on a character for 75% of the movie that we just met? Why do we care about him? I mean, we kind of care about him a little bit, but why would you make him the main focus? We just met the bastard. All of the advertising was Laurie Strode versus Michael Myers one final time, and they square off for like 10 minutes, and it's cool. The ending is cool. That's really it. Like, there's some cool kills that Michael gets, but same could be said for Halloween Kills. It's just, I don't want to put it in trash, but it's like, what were you thinking? Heretic is up next. Hugh Grant is very good in this movie. Another Sophie Thatcher movie. She's dominating the 2020s horror division. Honestly, the horror elements in Heretic, where like they're in that downstairs area, is solid. But mainly, Hugh Grant just rambling about religion is the best part of the movie, surprisingly. The girl's entering his home, and then realizing, ooh, things aren't quite what they seem. He seems a bit weird, I don't know. Like, that's great. I'm sort of middle of the road on Heretic. I did have a great time watching it, but is it something that really stands out to me? Not really. It's mainly just Hugh Grant being a silly little guy, doing his terrible Jar Jar impression, and singing Creep by Radiohead. Those are some fun moments, but it doesn't make the movie super great, but it is solid. I'll put it just a smidge above Five Nights at Freddy's. In a Violent Nature, oh my god, if you've seen some older videos on this channel before this movie came out, you know that I was super duper hyped for this. This was like my most anticipated movie of last year, and I saw it in theaters. I was really excited. It is pretty slow. He's walking in the woods, it's slasher movie ASMR, and I loved it. But then the lore dropping that we get from like these teens or these young adults that are hanging out at this campground area, it's very Friday the 13th-esque. They just kind of spew lore, and it's not very interesting. Like, everything that Johnny does, the kills, him walking in the woods, and like just slowly following people, I found it enjoyable. But it's just the way they did everything else I wasn't a fan of. Like, this is such a mixed bag of a movie because I loved some parts of it, but then I just was not really vibing with the other half of it. It's gonna go in solid, but I was really hoping for like a top of great movie, but a solid movie still is good. Like, I can't really complain. Now, I saw the TV Glow on the other hand. I didn't know much about this movie. I don't even think I saw a trailer, but everybody was buzzing about it. I loved pretty much every minute of it. It moves really slow, but the acting is phenomenal. Justice Smith and Jack Haven are so damn good in this, especially Jack Haven. I really enjoyed Maddie's character. Every scene with them, I was locked in. Every time they were spilling some tea or spewing some information, I was like, okay, I'm taking it all in. I really do love the message behind I Saw the TV Glow. It also looks really cool. Like, it's a dark movie, but it has like glowing purple and these like bright colors as well. It's just so well made. It's gonna go above Companion, maybe not above Evil Dead Rise, but it's gonna go in great because it is truly just like a one-of-a-kind movie. Last Night in Soho is an interesting one because I loved this movie, but everyone that I know, for the most part, they didn't really care for it. Thomasin McKenzie was fantastic in this. Anya Taylor-Joy was wonderful in this as well. It's a great mystery movie, and they give you all the pieces of the puzzle, and you're following along, and I loved every minute of the ride the movie took me on. I don't understand fully. It's been a while since I've seen the movie, just a heads up. Maybe I do need to check it out again. But for now, it's gonna go top of great, a smidge under Abigail. Late Night with the Devil is up next, and oh dang, David Dastmalchian, so fantastic in this leading role. Him as a late night talk show host, he played it so well. He is phenomenal in this movie. He carries it, because overall it's a fun little movie. We have some interesting characters, some pretty creepy characters. The final few moments of the movie where shit is hitting the fan is really fantastic. However, I will say the ending, I kind of wanted a touch more from it. I didn't really care too much about that ending. It was like, okay. Like, it doesn't make me dislike the movie, but I do wish we got a little bit more oomph. The possessed character, Lily, really, really terrifying. Honestly, every time she looked into the camera, I was like, yo, chill out a little bit. You're staring into my soul. I had a really good time with Late Night with the Devil. One of my favorite horror movies from last year. Just one of my favorite movies in general from last year. It's going in great. Now we have Longlegs, a movie I just rewatched the other night. When I first saw it in theaters, it was one of the scariest movies I'd seen in theaters. The feeling that I got while watching this movie, I never felt safe. I thought there was going to be danger around every corner. I loved watching Lee Harker snoop around this case and try to put things together. Longlegs, very memorable lines. He's not in the movie as much as I thought he was going to be. But yeah, when I watched this thing in theaters a few months back, I absolutely loved it. On a rewatch, because I wasn't surrounded by this loud sound in a very dark room, it didn't feel as terrifying. And also on that second watch, I kind of understood why a lot of people didn't really care for Longlegs. However, I just love the vibes of this movie. This feels like a borderline comfort movie where, like, it's not comforting at all, but I could go back and watch this thing like every other month, and I don't think I would ever get bored of it. I'm gonna put it in great. Malignant time! I talked about twists with Barbarian, and while I love the twist in Barbarian, the twist in Malignant comes a little later in the movie, and it is like, oh my god. This made me fall in love with talking about horror movies. I wanted to discuss this with everybody I knew. James Wan is one of my favorite horror directors, and he knocked it out of the park. It's not as solid or like put together as good as Barbarian, so it's gonna go under Barbarian, but it's staying in cinema because it deserves to be in that tier. The movie is creepy, but there's also several moments where we get some amazing action sequences. The premise alone is kind of cool, like, oh, I'm having these visions of like this murderer killing people. What the heck is going on, guys? I was on the edge of my seat this entire movie. Then when you just slap me in the face with that reveal, it is just such an insane movie, and I loved it. Megan is up next. Very solid movie, very, like, comedy, horror. Megan is a very fun horror character, borderline horror icon already. There's a reason she's getting a second movie, Megan 2.0, and I am excited for that. I really enjoyed this on first watch, but I did rewatch it not too long ago, and it's sort of like a Freaky and Longlegs situation where it didn't hold up entirely because I just remembered loving it so much the first time, but I guess, you know, second time isn't the charm. However, it's still a very solid movie. Very, very top of solid. Could cross over into great. Maybe if I rewatch it again, it'll boost it up. Maybe it's like an up and down or just like a depending on the mood kind of situation. Even if the movie itself isn't that great, the fact that it gave us this new character in the horror genre and just in pop culture in general, thank you, Megan. You deserve to be in solid at least, just for that alone. I'm doing all of these movies in alphabetical order, so the last of the X trilogy is coming up next. MaXXXine, not as much of a letdown as Halloween Ends was, but still MaXXXine, Not a great ending to this trilogy. It's fine. A lot of people like really didn't like it. I wasn't that much of a hater for it. I still kind of enjoyed it. And to be completely honest, I could put it in solid, but it just didn't do that much for me. I'm gonna put it top of meh. Mia Goth is really great. She continues her great performances throughout all three movies. Kevin Bacon was really fun. He's probably my favorite part of MaXXXine. There's a couple cool kills, one early on where a guy's balls get absolutely squished to all hell, and it was a very hard watch. I don't know if it's the best way to end that X trilogy, but you know what? It was still okay, so it's gonna not go in trash, but top of meh. Now we have The Menu. We have another movie entering cinema, and I almost want to put it a touch above Malignant. It's not as crazy as Malignant, but it is just so consistent throughout the whole movie. The characters that we follow throughout the entire runtime are so different. Each table at this fancy schmancy restaurant has a story to tell. They give you enough crumbs to where you have a nice savory meal by the end of it. Ralph Fiennes as Chef Slowik, just like Megan, I think is, in my opinion, I think he can qualify for a somewhat horror/thriller icon. I loved Chef Slowik so much. Also, we have Nicholas Hoult in this movie. Hell yeah. Anya Taylor-Joy's back again. Hell yeah. Everybody in this movie crushes it. Even like the minor characters, they do a great job. The way The Menu just builds and builds, I think it is just one of the best just movies in general we've gotten from the last 5 years. It's one of those movies where it's a bit slow, but there's enough crazy sprinkles dashed in there, and it works. It's just the perfect recipe. I know I'm using a lot of puns like that, but it just is. Everything mixes together so well. Oh, another banger, baby, The Night House. We have another entry in the cinema tier, a very unique movie. This movie made me fall in love with Rebecca Hall. She is so great as our main character. Just like with Lee Harker and Longlegs, I was super invested in Rebecca Hall's journey to figure out what the hell is going on with her late husband. There's some secrets that he was keeping, and it's another one of those movies where the ending is so just bizarre, but I am in love with it. Rebecca Hall talks about a note early on in the movie, and it says that nothing is after her, and oh boy, that moment from this movie sticks with me. I never stop thinking about it. You talk about The Night House, I instantly jump to that. So many cool visuals, so many cool little story elements. This movie is so wonderfully weird, it makes you think, and it is just so damn good. We got another banger. I don't know if it's quite cinema, the more I'm thinking about it, but definitely top of great. No One Will Save You. I believe it's a Hulu exclusive, Hulu original, whatever. I don't know how many people have seen this movie. It's an alien invasion movie, and Caitlin Dever is our main character, and she does not say a single word in this movie. Maybe like a sentence towards the end. Aliens have invaded, they're searching around her house, and I have never felt more worried and stressed out about a character, like ever. Oh my god, I was just watching this, holding my breath. I haven't seen it in a couple of years, but this movie is so underrated. More people need to be talking about it. I don't see a single soul ever bring up this movie, and that needs to change. If you like alien invasion kind of horror movies, this is one of the best ones I've ever seen. This might be my favorite alien invasion movie ever. It's so damn good. It's so unique. It's like nothing I have ever seen before. The aliens themselves also look really cool. There's also a really big alien that we see about halfway through or so. What a scary bastard he is. You know what? I don't care. I'm putting it in cinema. I love it. Next up is Nope, another movie that's close to being in cinema, but I'm gonna keep it down. Maybe top of great. The first time I watched it, I wasn't too crazy about it. I was like, yo, guys, why is everybody going nuts for this movie? But then a couple of years went by and my eyes opened. I love Nope. Our three main characters are so fantastic. Keke Palmer is really funny. Daniel Kaluuya, once again, is such a strong leading character. Just like Keke Palmer, Brandon Perea is also really funny in this. Probably the funniest character. Once again, another somewhat alien invasion movie, kind of sci-fi elements thrown into this. In my opinion, I think it's Jordan Peele's best movie. The design of Jean Jacket is really unique and cool. The I wear my sunglasses at night scene, and then like all the blood spewing down onto the house. This movie just kicks ass. Daniel Kaluuya on a horse, Keke Palmer on a motorcycle. Hell yeah, man, this thing just rocks. Another movie that I watched really recently, like a week ago, Nosferatu. Oh, I thought it was going to be pretty good, and I wasn't going to be as high on it as others were, because some people are treating this like it's one of the best horror movies we've gotten in years, and you know what? It kind of is. I gotta put it in great. I love the way the movie looks. I love all of our characters for the most part. Nicholas Hoult is, I know he's not the main character, but I would have loved to have kept on following him throughout the movie as he journeys to Count Orlok's castle. Bill Skarsgård as Count Orlok, I have been reciting his lines from the movie, like, in my head and out loud the past week. I wish for you to do as I request. That whole first time meetup between him and Nicholas Holt's character, edge of my seat, just like, oh, is he gonna attack? What's gonna happen? I don't know. And then obviously there's Lily Rose Depp, who is going all out in this. She is just as good as everyone is saying that she is in this movie. She's just giving the facial expressions. She is like stressed the F out, like, oh, my love, I will not let this evil win. I'm pretty certain that Nosferatu is going to end up on my top 10 first time watches of the month of June, so stay tuned for that. I'll talk more about Nosferatu in a week or so. Next up is M. Night Shyamalan's Old. A lot of people like some of these movies. You know, this one's a bit divisive. Some people don't like it. Again, another one that my friend group aren't really high on, but I love Old. Old is so silly. The beach that makes you old. It's just such a silly concept, but I thought it worked. And you know what? I got emotionally attached to the characters because, you know, we have a couple of kids there with their parents, and their parents are aging, and it hits them like, oh dang, our parents are aging. And it kind of makes you, the viewer, think like, oh yeah, my parents are also aging, what the hell? So this movie really got to me. There's some pretty scary, not scary, but like intense moments, like trying to escape over the rock wall, and then the lady falling. Then we got that one woman turning into like a pretzel, pretty much. It's just silly fun. It's going top of solid, maybe just, no, above Megan. Very top of solid. Now we have Orphan First Kill, the prequel to the Orphan movie that came out in like 2009. I enjoyed Orphan First Kill more than the first movie. It has that challenge of, oh, we already know Esther's big secret, so what can you do to surprise us now? And they throw like this curveball at you. I don't want to spoil it, but there is something that happens between the family members of this new family that Esther's trying to get involved with, and it just becomes like this little mini war between the family members, and it's so much fun. All the shenanigans that everyone gets into, and then the ending feels so abrupt, but not in a bad way. I just really enjoyed it. It's mainly a surprise factor because I did not expect to get much out of Orphan First Kill. It has stuck with me for the past couple of years, and I just think it nailed everything it tried to go for. The middle child of the X trilogy, we have Pearl. It is my favorite of the trilogy. Mia Goth, I talked about her performance as being good. This is her movie, and this will always be her movie. I don't care what other movies she's a part of for the rest of her career. This performance as Pearl should have gotten an Oscar nom. It should have gotten all the buzz in the world. She is so damn good in this movie. She goes from like this innocent little farm girl that's like, I just want to be a star, I just want to live my dreams, and then throughout the movie she's just more and more intense, more and more scary. And then we also get David Cornsweet in here, Superman himself, in one of the best horror movies ever. Hell yeah, that's my king right there. Pearl's amazing. The credit stare down that she gives at the end of the movie, her monologue that goes on for like 6 minutes or whatever, where she's talking to her sister-in-law. Pearl's going in great. Just such a great performance and a great movie. Even if Mia Goth went from a 10 and turned it down to like a 7, it would still be a good movie, but because she gives a 10 out of 10 performance, it just makes it all the more special. Oh boy, okay, this is going to be a really hot take coming right here. I have Nosferatu and great. We have another Nicholas Hoult vampire movie, Renfield, the horror comedy that people did not really care for. Nick Cage as Dracula, I'm down with it. He was really good in it. I loved him. Nicholas Hoult as Renfield, very, very good as well. Now, in almost every sense of the word, Nosferatu is the better movie. But I just have an absolute blast with Renfield. The first time I watched it, it was kind of middle of the road. I thought it was fun. But then I rewatched it a few months ago, and just something clicked in me. It is so fun. It's so bloody. The action sequences are wonderful. Awkwafina isn't that unbearable. I know a lot of people do not like her, but I'm not a big Awkwafina hater. I thought she was pretty solid in this movie. I'm putting Renfield in great with Nosferatu, but I'm putting it above Nosferatu. I know, I'm gonna get yelled at. I have to shout my truth out from the mountaintops. Renfield is so much fun. It just scratches the itch that I have. Nosferatu does in certain aspects as well, but Renfield just fills my heart with so much joy. Oh boy, I wasn't even going to put this on the list, but I wanted to make it an even 50. Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. I saw commercials for this everywhere when it was releasing in theaters. I paid no attention to it because I never played any of the Resident Evil games. I hadn't seen any of the movies really. But then last year I took a journey through the Resident Evil film franchise. And you know what? It is one of my favorite horror movie franchises I think I've ever sat through. Each movie has at least a handful of fun, awesome moments in it. A couple of them aren't great, but for the most part, they're all pretty solid. I don't care what anyone tells you. On Letterboxd, they all have like 2 point whatever ratings, but in my heart, they're all at least a 3.5 or higher. And I remembered that Welcome to Raccoon City existed, so I was like, yeah, I'm on this fun train. Let's continue. They murder these characters. None of these characters are good. Leon is treated like a joke the entire movie. I actually sort of like the cast, but the characters themselves just really give us nothing, and it's disappointing. It's going in trash. Saw X, the latest entry into the Saw franchise. We focus heavily on Tobin Bell in this one, and I think it works. There are still plenty of brutal kills and traps. We get Amanda back in this one, and it's always nice to see her. Going back to the gruesome traps and stuff, the gore and effects are really freaking cool. One lady saws off her own leg, and it is so real looking. It was a little crazy to see in theaters, but hey, that's what I want out of my Saw movies. I'm gonna put it in great because it is one of the best Saw movies, at least like a top 3, top 4 Saw movie. It's fantastic. James Wan and Lee Winnell have the rights back to the Saw franchise, or they've been handed over control again or something like that, so I'm really excited to see where the franchise goes. But even if this is like the more down-to-earth, serious Saw movie that we get, if it's like the only one like that, that's fine with me. It was really good. Alright, the Scream movies are up next. Scream 5. At first, I had it under Scream 6 because Scream 6, Melissa Barrera's character is better in that one. There's a lot more chasing and running around. It's in a different setting. But I rewatched Scream 5, and I just think it has a special place in my heart because I love Dewey so much. I love David Arquette. And this movie, he's not the main focus, but he's in it quite a bit. Also, once again, Jack Quaid is back. Mikey Madison is here. Mindy and Chad Meeks are 2 fun characters. Jenna Ortega as Tara is a really nice character to be added to the franchise. Melissa Barrera as Sam is also a nice character to be added, but I just wish they did a bit more with her. She's sort of flat in this movie, but not bad. I don't know why she got that much hate. The stuff with her being Billy's daughter and seeing him in like mirrors and stuff is kind of silly, but it kind of grew on me over time, so I'm not too upset with it. I'm gonna put Scream 5 in great, just a touch above Saw X, above Longlegs and Orphan First Kill, just somewhere in the middle here. Other than a couple of minor things, it still feels like a core Scream movie. Now Scream 6, like I said, I had it above Scream 5 at one point, and it is just as good, about tied in my opinion. Like I mentioned earlier, a different setting, a lot more running around, Ghostface has a freaking shotgun. However, the big thing about this movie, and the big thing about all the Scream movies, is the killer reveal. I don't care for the killers in this movie. The reveal is interesting. One of the ghost faces is actually like a really cool surprise. Courtney Cox also gets the chance to shine a little bit in this movie because she gets a cool confrontation with Ghostface in her apartment, and I think the whole chase that they go through is really fun. But after the months and months of thinking about it, I just don't think it was as strong as Scream 5, so I'm gonna put Scream 6 in great, right underneath Scream 5. Here we go, here's a big one. We have Sinners. Sinners is going in cinema, Sinners-ma, because it is just all around a great horror movie, but we get so many different kinds of things thrown in there. Characters that we get to watch develop and fall in love with, Smoke and Stack in particular, especially the first half of the movie. Seeing all of our characters at the juke joint, just letting loose, dancing, singing, and just like the celebration of all this music, especially that one shot where all the different kinds of music are on full display, and you have dancers and different instruments and different like eras of music, I guess. I don't know exactly how to put it. Really, really cool scene. Then there's Miles Caton, who puts in an all-star performance here. It's his first movie role, which is crazy. I was sitting in the theater. It was a packed theater a couple of weeks after it came out, which doesn't really happen often, so shout out Sinners. When Miles Caton first starts singing Travelin', my eyes just widen, and I was like, oh, dude, this guy can sing. This guy is gonna be in this movie, and he's gonna kill it, and he did kill it. And then there's Slim and Cornbread, audience fan favorites right there. Our 3 main vampires are really fun. There is a lot of music in this movie, and we get that Rocky Road to Dublin Irish jig scene where like all the vampires are going crazy. Oh my god, it's such a cool scene. There are so many cool shots in this movie, so many cool moments, so many intense moments, so many spooky moments, so many wonderful moments. I really have no complaints about Sinners. I don't think I've seen a single complaint about Sinners from like anyone on Twitter, which is crazy because Twitter is like a hellscape. I really enjoyed Sinners. Great theater experience, and just on top of that, it's just a good movie. So, you know, combine all those things together, hell yeah. We got another duo right here. The first Smile movie, it is pretty good, pretty scary. The Smile itself, when I first saw the trailers, I'm like, this looks kind of dumb. But then the movie, you know, it ups the creepiness to like 100. There's so many scenes, especially the call with, I believe, her doctor or therapist. And there's a situation where you don't know if she's talking to a smile demon or if she's talking to the actual person. The ending, while not the greatest, it has grown on me. I watched the movie a second time, and the movie itself did grow on me. Preparing for Smile 2, I enjoyed it more than the first time I watched it. Still not a fan favorite of mine. Gonna go top of solid around the bodies area. Maybe a smidge above Alien Romulus even. Maybe a third watch would boost it up a bit more, but for now, it's really solid. Smile 2, on the other hand, oh, what a banger. One of my favorite horror movies from last year. Sky Riley. Hell yeah. Naomi Scott. She is so damn good in this. I think the first Smile movie carries a darker tone, but Smile 2 has scarier moments. There were a couple jump scares where it caught me so off guard, like the truck headlights coming from that lady's smile and eyes or whatever. Just was, it caught me so off guard. I think the premise is interesting. A pop star being the one to be followed by the Smile Demon. I just think everything pretty much works for this movie. The ending stretch is very terrifying, where Naomi Scott is like talking to herself from like a past traumatic event. It's like, whoa, what the hell? One of the scarier movies I've seen the past couple of years. We'll put it under I Saw the TV Glow, in great tier. Talk about peak cinema, baby. We got stop motion. I haven't really been organizing the cinema tier because just I love all these movies so much. I guess Sinners could move up a tiny bit. Stop motion could move up to like almost number 1 up here. Stop motion, if you haven't seen it, I think it somewhat flew under the radar unless you're like really into horror. I love stop motion animation and I love horror movies. This combines them, and it combines them so freaking well. There's some great body horror elements tossed in there at the end. It's one of those movies where things just keep on ramping up. There's a little girl thrown in there, and usually when a little girl gets thrown into a horror movie, you're like, are you going to be an annoying little pest, or are you going to be kind of funny and cool? And this little girl, I forgot her name, but she's in the movie, and she's like egging Ella on. She's like, how about you do this? How about you do that with your stop motion project? And she keeps going down this rabbit hole, and things keep getting weirder and weirder, and I love it. This movie just speaks to me, man. It has tools that I like, and they use those tools well. And I just can't ask for anything better than that. So thank you, Stop Motion, the best horror movie of last year. Actually, I realize I can't say that. Because right now we have my number 1 horror movie of last year, tied for my number 1 movie just period of last year, tied with Flow, The Substance. What hasn't been said about The Substance? Coralie Farjah freaking created a masterpiece. Demi Moore was just like through the roof amazing in this movie. I've never been the biggest body horror fan because I've never seen a movie truly use it to the point where I'm like, whoa, that's body horror, baby. But The Substance did it. It's insane in all of the best ways. It tells a really decent story too, and it just throws horror elements at you to like, hey, you like the story? Let's make it like just weird. I could talk about it for another freaking 10 minutes, but I've talked about it in numerous videos so far. It's going top of cinema. Actually, not above Barbarian. Barbarian, since, you know, it stuck with me longer, past couple of years, it came out in 2022, it has that benefit. But The Substance, just within the last 6 months of it existing, or about a year at this point, it's so freaking good. Next up is Talk to Me, a movie that, while I do enjoy a lot, I'm not as high on it as everybody else is. The Filippo brothers know how to make a good movie. I think using this, like, possessed hand as, like, a party trick is really funny. The concept alone of, like, having a spirit kind of take over your body for a short amount of time is really cool. The more the movie goes on, it just takes, like, a darker and darker turn. However, it is one of those movies that just hasn't really stuck out to me, like, personally. Like, I think it's really good, but it's sort of like a bones and all kind of deal where I get if you love this thing, but for me personally, it's just kind of whatever. Honestly, I would put it a smidge under Alien Romulus because I feel like I had a bit more fun with Romulus, but Talk to Me is still a very good time. Alright, we've been having a lot of bangers throughout this list, but we gotta throw a little stinker up there. We have Terrifier 2. Now I know everybody loves Art the Clown. He's like our newest king of the horror icons or whatever. I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm not sold on Art. I mean, I like Art. I like the idea of him. I like that he's a gruesome killer, but his movies are just so whatever that I just don't really care. Terrifier 2 has some moments where I'm enjoying myself, but then it has some other moments where they're trying to do some lore that kind of works, but also it feels like, well, we need to give this guy some kind of story. It just didn't really work for me. Lauren Lavera, though, as Sienna Shaw, great character to introduce to the franchise. All of her story stuff is cool. It's gonna go in meh, not trash. It's really long, too. Terrifier 2 is like 2 hours and 20 minutes. A Terrifier movie probably only needs to be like an hour and 40 max. I'm gonna be real. Alright, maybe another hot take somewhat. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022, released on Netflix. It's like, I guess, a legacy sequel in a way, because it's like in the same timeline, but years and years and years into the future, and Leatherface is this old dude now. It's a really bad movie. Like, it's not great in the slightest. But, just like FNAF, even though FNAF's a better movie by a mile, it's still a fun time. I'm gonna be real. Like, this movie is not good, but I had a blast watching this with my friend, just like laughing and pointing out how ridiculously silly this movie is. It's not very good, but there are some bright spots. Will I name some of those bright spots? Probably not, because, I mean, well, the ending is really, it's really funny. The first kill that Leatherface gets in the back of that truck is kind of cool. I don't know, man, the movie's not great, but I had a blast watching it. Speaking of movies that I had a blast watching, Trap, the first watch was phenomenal. I loved it. I loved it so much. The first 75% of that movie, I'm locked in while they're at the concert. I'm like, yeah, let's go, woohoo. But then you have the bit where they leave the concert, and it kind of just breaks down. I didn't really mind it on the first watch because I was so in love with the first major chunk of the movie. But then on a rewatch a couple of days ago, Lady Raven, I like the character of Lady Raven. I like her voice. She sings well, and her music kind of fits the movie. The concert that she puts on is really cool. But then there's the moment where she goes into the bathroom and she's like, hey, I'm Instagram living right now. Any one of my followers, have you seen the statue by this apartment door? And like 4 people immediately with no delay are like, oh yeah, I live in that area. I think it's over there. And it's just so stupid. The last part of that movie really does drag. It's not great. I don't like Cooper's mommy weakness. I love him as a character so much, except for that little piece of him. It's a very entertaining watch up to a certain point. Very top of solid. It would have gone like in the middle of great, honestly, but because of that most recent rewatch, oh dude, it dropped down in my rankings quite a bit. We're getting close to the end here. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. One of the worst movies I've ever seen. Not just one of the worst horror movies. It's just one of the worst movies. It's soulless. They did it just because, oh, the name is available. Let's freaking do it. Yay! And it's a very, very bad slasher movie. And while that's all I'm going to say about Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, the first one, the sequel is surprisingly really fun, a major upgrade. I loved Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. I thought it was very well done. Sure, it's not perfect, but I genuinely thought it was a really fun time. So yeah, there you go. I'm locked in for the Pooniverse. Even with the first movie being terrible, I was already locked in to begin with. But the fact that the sequel was really good, I'm more excited than I was like a year ago. And to end this list, we start at the beginning of the X trilogy. We have X. I've only seen X one time. It really didn't do a whole lot for me. It is a interesting and kind of fun slasher. The kills are pretty cool. It does get a bit brutal at times. There's some freaky scenes like some old couple loving, but you know what? We all need a bit of that in our lives, I guess. I hate to end this list on sort of a bummer, but it's gonna go under MaXXXine, maybe even under Conjuring Devil Made Me Do It. The main thing I like about X is that it gave us Pearl, so thank you X for that. Other than that, I'm not the biggest fan. But with all that being said, this is the tier list. In cinema, we have all these great movies. In great, we have all these great movies. In solid, still some great movies. I mean, the bottom couple are not great, but fun. And then the bottom 2 tiers are just like, you could just throw those aside if you want. I don't know. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know some of your favorites off of this list. Let me know some of your least favorites off of this list. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.